I don't know how you're supposed to meet someone when the dating apps suck and then guys don't approach you.
I'm so pretty and the dating scene here is just like so wild. These guys. Ooh, honey, maybe it's your energy.
I refuse to be a stay-at-home mom in a country that doesn't place any value on the unpaid invisible labor that women do.
Who cares what the country thinks of you? All you should care about is what your husband thinks.
Whoever pays my bills first wins.
Gold diggers everywhere.
So today is my last day of maternity leave and I go back to work tomorrow. I just don't feel ready.
I'm ready for the heat on this one. Women, you shouldn't go for careers where you're going to have student loans. It's not worth it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jedediah Bila Show. You may notice behind me that Gatito, remember the cat? He's no longer. Let's just say that Gatito, the salt lamp, was sweating quite a bit and began to sweat everywhere. So he's deceased. Say a prayer. He is no longer with us. Gatito, rest in peace, love. He basically sweat until he was about this small. And I looked, I said, oh, Gatito, you shrunk. And there was no response, as you might imagine, because he's not real. And my husband just politely took him out in the trash. So rest in peace, Gatito. We'll get something new up here that doesn't sweat. Who knew that salt lamps sweat? Not me. Anyway, welcome, everyone. We have a fantastic show planned for you today. Bunch of clips, very important. One serious, the rest a little kooky. We'll get there. First, I want to tell you who today's show is brought to you by. This is one of my favorite companies to partner with. This is American Hartford Gold. I've always believed in personal responsibility, taking care of your family, protecting what you've earned, and not waiting around for the government or Wall Street to do that stuff for you. But let's face it, things are getting out of control. National debt's exploding. Inflation is hitting hard. The market has been dropping. You know it. If you've been relying on it to protect your future, then that should be your wake-up call. That's not fear-mongering. That's just reality. For those of us who still believe in traditional values like working hard and saving smart and providing for the people you love, we need to think seriously about how to protect our money. That's why I trust American Hartford Gold. They help you to move your savings into something real, something physical. Gold and silver, not paper promises, not digital currencies, real lasting value. You can have gold and silver delivered straight to your door. How cool is that? Or you can place it in a gold IRA that gives you powerful tax advantages. Did you hear that? Their customer service is exactly what you'd hope for. I love it. It's honest. It's helpful. It's totally committed to walking you through every step. Super helpful. They've earned an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and the trust of thousands of families, including my family. And right now, when you make your first purchase and mention my name, mention Jedediah, you could qualify for up to $15,000 in free silver. How cool is that? Amazing. This isn't about politics. It's about being smart. It's about being prepared. It's about doing right by the people who count on you, your children, your family. Call 844-725-1818, or you can just text Bila to 65532. That's 844-725-1818, or text Bila to 65532, or you can just click on the link below. It's all going to be in the show description. All the details are below. Take control of your future because no one's going to do it for you. Start with American Hartford Gold. Who's ready for the spice? I'm feeling it. Need some music to just, something's got to just match this. You know the wave, the Bila wave. All right. You're like, Chet, enough. Come on, man. All right. Let's go to number one.
How is it that I just went through over 50 matches on Hinge? Like, literally, it said 50 plus. I'm pretty sure there were like 70 matches. I X'd every single one except for 2. And like, mind you, my friends, they always joke, they're like, Grace, you give people like the benefit of the doubt that like don't deserve it. Like, I give people the benefit of the doubt and I matched with 2 people. Something you can admire about men is their audacity. Some of these, I was like, shoot your shot. Okay, I get it. 2, just like, I knew dating in New York was hard. To be fair, like, I have not given dating in New York a fair shot. Like, I really haven't been on the apps, like, really doing anything. I'm kind of hoping I meet someone in the wild or just who even knows. But now I understand why girls are so disheartened by dating, especially in New York City. Like, this is wild. And then me and a couple of girlfriends went out for my birthday and we were at this nice bar, and one of the girls we were with is married, and so she like wasn't really worried about meeting anyone. But me and my girlfriends were out, we look good, we're having fun, like we are pretty girls. And my friend who was married called me the next day and she was like, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, there were so many cute guys there. You guys are so hot. Not one single guy went up to our group and she was like, I don't know how you're supposed to meet someone when the dating apps suck and then guys don't approach you. Holy moly. Oh, this is quite the adventure.
All right, man. Oh, man. Where do you start? So first of all, this is what it looks like when a woman has too many options. She's got too many options sliding into the DMs, and she feels that she can be beyond picky. You know, some people hate when I say back in the day. It's true, though. Back in the day, I told you, you'd go out, somebody would ask you out, you get all excited, you get dressed up. It wasn't like 50 guys sliding into your DMs at once, and you were like, oh, I don't know. That one, his hair is a little short. Oh, that one? I don't know. He's kind of got like a little bit of a wandering eye. I don't know. That one, is that a chipped tooth? Oh, I don't like that. No, it wasn't like that because you didn't have an endless sea of options. You had a guy that picked up the phone, called you, and you were like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Somebody wants to take me out. All right, I'll give it a shot. You didn't have this inflated sense of ego either. Like, the audacity. She's all like, some of these guys, I get it. Like, shoot your shot, but the audacity of them. Of these guys to think they have a shot with me? Honey, you just got so much less attractive. Also, who are these women that are always like, we are pretty girls. Oh my God, we are hot girls. I never spoke like that. Now I can look back as, someone who's older and be like, wow, I was an objectively good-looking young woman. But I wasn't out there. You know what made me attractive? I didn't think I was that attractive. I was just like, whatever, got dressed, went out. I wasn't like, I'm objectively really pretty. How, right? Isn't it just gross? Humility, honey, goes a long way. So she's saying the audacity of these guys, the audacity of them to be thinking they have a shot with me and sliding into the DMs and like on the dating app, thinking they could be a match with me. In the same breath, she's saying that they go out and guys don't approach her. So you were just complaining that too many guys are approaching you on the app and they have some sort of inflated sense of ego to think, that they would actually have a shot with holier than thou me, right? I'm so amazing and gorgeous. And in the same breath, you're mad that those same guys or guys like them don't approach you in person. Well, honey, maybe it's your energy. Maybe it's your I'm too hot for everyone energy. Maybe it's your I'm so pretty and the dating scene here is just like so wild. These guys, ooh, maybe it's that. Maybe it's the ooh that the guys don't want to approach you. They feel it and they're not coming up to you. I've said this before, but guys will take like a 6 who's pleasant and approachable and fun. And if they're looking for a serious thing, they're looking for a real girlfriend, they will take that 6 over a 9 who's like, I'm so hot. I'm so pretty. You think you're worthy? Not. Ew. Told you I would need a barf bucket at some point. It's not in here, so I got to keep doing this. Because it is. It's disgusting. Again, is she attractive? Sure. Did she get less attractive as we watched the video? Yes. Guys aren't approaching you because of your attitude, honey. Own it.
Every time I have interactions with men, I am just more and more appalled and disgusted by men and the behavior of men towards women. Like, dating in my early 20s, men actually had respect for women, relatively. You at least felt like a human being around them. You at least felt like they saw you as a human and not just an object. But the increase in all of these red pill podcasts and women hating behavior on the internet has literally poisoned the minds of men. And it was to the point that I just stopped dating entirely for the last 6 months or so. I've been trying to give dating a chance again lately. I've even been trying to date guys who are not, my typical type. But yeah, even dating guys who are not my typical type has not fixed the issue. In fact, actually, it's worse.
Okay. Meet the frustrated woman who is mad because guys here, first of all, you saw the red pill. They blame the red pill, whatever. And it's always interesting who they define as red pill. If it's someone who's who criticizes men, but also criticizes women, that's red pill, right? If it's somebody, they ask them who they're talking about. Ask them, they say red pill, ask them who they're talking about. It's just, they want men to be criticized, right? The man hating is allowed. because they feel it's justified. Well, yeah, you hate on men because they're so bad. Duh. But then when you you tell women, hey, listen, you got to check yourself, honey, that, oh my God, you're such a misogynist, you red pill misogynist. Ooh, this is why men behave badly, the red pill. Define badly. I would like to know also, how are these men treating you badly? Are they abusive? That's different. What's going on? Or, dare I guess, are some of these men that you encounter just standing up for themselves and not taking your crap? Men are tired. Men are tired. They're tired of their masculinity being labeled toxic. They're tired of being told, oh, we want a traditional man, but you don't get to want a traditional woman. They're tired of being told you got to want a boss babe and you got to want to delegate your home, the care of the children to, a nanny or to daycare because I still want to be a boss babe, but I really want a traditional man. They're tired of that nonsense. They're also tired of women treating them like crap because women have a ton of options on social media and have decided that they can be extraordinarily picky and discard and abuse, in some cases, verbally, men. Ooh, he's ugly. Ooh. They do this stuff all the time. And then if a guy turns around and says, oh, honey, you're not my type. Oh, you're so superficial. Oh, my God. He's so superficial. And then you go, he hurt my feelings. Is he saying I'm fat? Grow up. If you're going to dish it out, you got to be able to take it. Or start being nice. Have you been respectful to men? Ask yourself, if you're claiming you're getting disrespect, what are you putting out there? You being respectful? You're making a whole video complaining about them. So my guess is maybe no, I don't know. Stop blaming everybody else and look at your life. Now, maybe you did encounter, a bad guy here and there. They exist. There are bad men. There are bad women. Again, be conscious of the energy you're putting out there. Be conscious of that and be conscious of what you attract. And maybe stop complaining. Oh, complain. And just look in the mirror. What am I doing? What am I doing to contribute to this dynamic that I don't like? Own it. Again, that's the theme of today. Own it. Own it. You're not a passive player in your life. Stop faking like you are. Cop out.
Since I've heard that men are really competitive and love playing games, I have a new one. Whoever pays my bills first wins. Ready, set, go. I'm rooting for ya.
I mean, it's disgusting, right? I love when women say, this is a caricature you're presenting. Women don't actually act like gold diggers. That's not what's happening. It's all over TikTok. It's all over Instagram. It's all over. You have women proudly saying, hey, how can I milk you for money? Just come over and buy us drinks and get lost. How can I get you to pay my bills? Oh, whoever pays my bills the fastest wins. Gold diggers everywhere. And this is why I say, oh, I took heat on a clip the other day. This is why I say, I'll get to it in a second. This is why I say, guys, don't be spending the money on the first date. Don't be spending the money on the first few dates. Don't do it. First, figure out, is she worth it? Is she worth your dollars and cents? Really? Is she? Why is it automatic, right, that you're going to spend a ton of money? I'm not saying if you go for a coffee, don't pick up the bill for the coffee. Okay, fine. An ice cream cone you can handle. But a big fancy dinner, all this, the flowers, everything. Oh, let's do the whole big thing for a woman who may treat you like crap and who may behind the scenes be like, how do I get him to pay my bills? That's all I really care about. Don't you want to figure out if she's that person first? Don't you? These women are everywhere. They want your cash, which is why they're saying when you take them out for a slice of pizza, God forbid, or if you take them out for a walk, they get twisted and their hair is starting to fray and get all frizzed out and they've been electrocuted because they want your money. They don't want you. If it was about you, then the walk would be fine and the pizza would be fine. It's not about you. They want your cash. So vet them. Now, I got heat the other day because there was a short that was cut of me saying, listen, you be the gentleman. You pay the bill. I'm talking about men who have decided to take a woman out. If you make a decision as a man, I'm going to take her out. I've done my own vetting process. I want to take her out, invite her to the fancy restaurant. This is what I want to do. That's up to you, honey. I would advise otherwise. But if you make that decision, then at that point it's on you. Then you do have to be the gentleman and you do have to pick up the tab. And I told you, if you're at the table and she's disrespectful, you just say, honey, listen, this isn't going to work for me. Here's enough to cover today's dinner and have a nice life. And you leave. You don't sit and get abused. That was for men who have made a decision that you're going to go in and you're going to spend the money. That's up to you ultimately. But I never advise that. Go back and watch the clips. I never advise that because you got to vet these girls that are now out for your cash. It's one thing to spend money. It's, you know what? You meet a good girl, good quality woman. Yeah, you treat her well, right? You're going to want to spend your money on her. You're going to want to buy her something nice. You're going to want to take her out to a nice dinner whenever. You're going to want to, oh, let me surprise her with some flowers. You're going to want to naturally do those things because she's doing something for you. She's giving you respect. She's giving you love. She's giving you loyalty. It's mutual, right? You don't just dish that out to some girl you don't know because you don't know what she's saying. Maybe she's making a TikTok of you saying, I got him to pay all this stuff. Never going to call him again. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. There's a whole bunch of gold diggers out there. Know what you're getting into, guys.
Never be a stay-at-home mom, and I am happy to tell you all of the reasons why. First and foremost, I don't want to be. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, so I'm not going to be. Second, I've worked really hard in my career and I make good money, and I am not willing to give up my lifetime earnings, my retirement fund, my Social Security, my benefits. I'm not willing to give that up. And that leads me to my third point. I will never be in a position where I don't have financial freedom and or the ability to provide for my family and my kids. Couldn't be me. I will always need financial freedom. That is something that I want. That is something that I care about. And I will always be in a position where I can provide for my family. But also, fourth, I refuse to be a stay-at-home mom in a country that doesn't place any value on the unpaid invisible labor that women do. This comment that the mental load would be easier if I'm a stay-at-home mom is just wholly untrue, because if you talk to any stay-at-home mom, they will tell you that the expectations on them are greater. We expect stay-at-home moms to work 24/7. We tell them it's the most important job in the world. And then when they do it, we say, so what do you do all day? What, like it's hard? It's not hard. What are you complaining about? We tell them that their time is not nearly as valuable as their partner's time because their partner gets paid. And so, no, I will not be a stay-at-home mom in a country that does not value the unpaid invisible labor that women do. It can't be me. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to be a stay-at-home mom. I support any woman who wants to do that. I think that is a very valid, important choice if you want to make that, but I'm not going to. But ultimately, regardless of whether or not a woman is a stay-at-home mom or the breadwinner, they do most of the domestic labor and the childcare. So the real solution to the mental load would be men stepping up, men doing more. And I know men don't like to hear that as the solution to the problem, but it just is.
Oh, isn't she just adorable? I'm telling you, man, if you can date a feminist and be happy, more power to you. But that in my ear, oh my Lord, I'd be having to have earplugs at home. Date a feminist and you're going to have to be walking around with earplugs. Maybe she's attractive, maybe she's not. But if she is, then you're going to have to just plug your ears because this stuff is insufferable. And it's garbage. Garbage. She's a parrot. She is a parrot. It's sad, but she's a parrot. So she talks about how, she's not going to be a stay-at-home mom. She's never going to do that because, the talking points, she swallowed them and now she's parroting them out. She says, first of all, she's not going to be a stay-at-home mom because she wants to keep her earnings and, her 401k, whatever she talks about. Honey, if you stop working, the 401k doesn't just vanish into thin air. You still keep that. The money that you saved is still there. What are you even talking about? Secondly, she says that she's not going to be a stay-at-home mom because she wants financial freedom and she needs to know that she can take care of her household and her family. Bull. That's not why she wants financial freedom. She wants financial freedom so that if she decides to pick up and leave you, which most of the time women leave men, not the other way around, just a fact. If she decides that, you're not doing enough, you didn't close the dishwasher exactly the way she liked it and you didn't fold that towel in threes, you did it in twos, ick. She decides she wants to leave you, or she runs across some guy that's, giving her time or something because you're working hard all day and exhausted. And now she's looking for somebody to pay her a different type of attention or whatever it may be, right? Or she just decides she wants to leave. Whatever the reason is, she wants to know that she is financially set. And let's face it, in most situations, what happens is those women keep their money and then they take half of yours. So she's like, oh, I'll be good. That's what that financial freedom argument is about all the time. 99.9% of the time. It just is. Just face it. Okay. I was told for years, you got to make your own money. When I was younger, I was not ambitious. Good student, not ambitious. Was not career focused, didn't give a lick. You got to make your own money because, if you're this was in my ear constantly from teachers, from professors, from everyone. You got to make your own money because what if somebody leaves you? Then you're going to have nothing. Well, why would somebody leave me? Well, what if they do? What if they cheat on you? What if they leave? Then you're just inculcated with this stuff as a woman. In the meantime, most of the time, women leave men. Just is. Just a fact. Check the stats. Okay, then she says, I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom because I don't want to do it in a country that doesn't value stay-at-home moms. Honey, who cares what the country feels about stay-at-home moms? First of all, that's not true. That's not true. Traditional wives and stay-at-home moms are now being uplifted in a way they haven't been before because people realize the value of that. Secondly, who gives the lick? Who cares what the country thinks of you? All you should care about is what your husband thinks. And if he values what you're bringing to the table, you have a beautiful marriage and it's appreciated. And what you bring, it complements what he brings. And he really wanted a stay-at-home mom and he thinks you're an amazing stay-at-home mom and he treats you with love and respect. That's all you should care about. You got to worry that, the country doesn't evaluate me as why? Glamour magazine said you weren't cool enough, honey. You got your feelings hurt. Who cares? Who cares? So that's, then she says that the mental load as a stay-at-home mom, the mental load is just as bad as it's worse than being a career mom. No, it's not. Now, are there challenges to being a stay-at-home mom? Of course, it's a lot of work, right? You're taking care of a family, you're cooking, you're maintaining a household. These are, of course, is it challenging? Yes. However, dare I say it, it does align with your natural instincts as a woman in a different way than having to financially provide for a family and dealing with a career grind and meetings, corporate meetings and a corporate climb. And it's a different type of stress that you're not wired for in the same way. Women are naturally wired for maternal instincts are instincts for a reason. It's not the same kind of stress. I've done both. I can tell you it's just not the same. Is it hard work to be a stay-at-home mom? Should stay-at-home moms be valued? Should stay-at-home moms be respected? It's the most important job that you can have ever, right? As a woman, to be a stay-at-home mom. So I'm always praising people who make that choice because it's very important to have mommy present in the home. We know that. We know about the effects it has on children, on families, on the dynamic between a man and a woman. It just is, right? So why is she so concerned, though, about how society's going to view it? And why is she's been manipulated? That's why, because she's telling you, oh, no. The mental load to go be a career woman is much less. What, honey? Have you ever not been able to pay your bills? Money. Having to put food on the table, meaning that you have to have your finances in order, is a stress you can't even imagine, right? So if you take that off of a woman's plate and you put it on a guy's plate, you've just released a lot of stress from her life. That's not natural for her to carry. It's not. It is not a natural instinct for a woman to be a breadwinner. It's not. It is a natural instinct for a woman to be taking care of a home, to be taking care of her children, and to be prioritizing family. It just is. You can hate on me, send the hate mail to me directly, by the way, because I really enjoy seeing it. And then she says, the caveat is, I'm not hating on stay-at-home moms. Yes, you are. You just went through a whole litany of reasons you're not going to be a stay-at-home mom because now you're like, I'm not hating on them. Liar. Okay, you're just saying that because now you don't want the stay-at-home moms to write you and be like, honey, you're a brainwashed feminist. Get away. The coup de grace, as I say, golden nugget, is when she says that the real problem is that men aren't stepping up because women are working now and are still carrying the burden of the home stuff. So guys need to step up more. In other words, guys, you have to do what's naturally instinctive to you, which is to work, to provide for your family, to protect your family, all of those things. And then you also have to do what's naturally instinctive to her because she doesn't want to, because now she's also doing the man's job at the corporate meetings all day and comes home agitated and cranky because it's not naturally instinctive for her to go through her day with her, stress to this level and all of this stuff. But she bought, all of the feminist crap that told her she was supposed to be doing that. So she comes home in a bad mood and now she's like, well, are you going to help me cook dinner? Are you going to help me do that? So now you got to do what's natural to you and what's supposed to be natural to her that she gave up to go be a boss babe. No. And you know what? These women who've been brainwashed over and over again, it's like you could just, it's vomit inducing because they don't even hear themselves. Do you see how she's like talking from it's almost like there's like a chip in here that you just want to be like, ugh. And then she would just be like, oh, hey. And it would just be the feminist chip just got dislodged. And now she's like talking like a real human. It's kind of amazing if that could happen, right? Not advocating for doing that. Guys are going to be like, how do I get that chip out? Jed, is there a tool? Is it on the shop page of your website? It is not. Don't do that. Then it'll be like, Jed told me, don't do it.
So today is my last day of maternity leave and I go back to work tomorrow. And I just feel like I haven't had enough time with them. I know I got longer than a lot of women get with 3 months, but it just doesn't, I just don't feel ready physically and mentally. I feel like there's like so much that you think that you are going to do on maternity leave. You think you're going to accomplish so many things and do so many things with your babies, and then here I am at the end and I'm like, I didn't do any of that, but I feel like I did do a lot of this, and that's one of the most important things. I think the hardest part is it's just like such an abrupt change that you're with your babies all the time, and then you pick them up from daycare and you might just get a few hours with them. So that's just it's such an abrupt change, and it's really hard. I also love my career. I am proud of what I do, but there's always that mom guilt of you're not giving enough time to your kids. But you can't do it all. You can't give 100% to everything. I think that's something important to remember. I just feel so honored to be their mom and to have gotten the past 3 months with them. So I'm really grateful for that. For all the working moms out there, you're amazing. Yeah, you can't do it all, but you're doing the best that you can for your kids, and that's all that matters.
Okay, so this is very sad, right? This is an important conversation. You may notice that I'm talking about this stay-at-home mom stuff, and maybe it's something that I'm sensitive to because I am a mom of a 5-year-old and have chosen to very largely be at home and present with him. But listen, this woman is devastated. It's unnatural for her to be going. Can we all acknowledge it's unnatural for her to be going back to work, given the condition mentally she's in about it. You see these 2 beautiful children she just had, healthy babies that are sleeping on her. It's just like picture perfect, right? She's traumatized by the idea of having to go back. And this happens to women all the time. And what's going to happen is those 2 kids are going to go into daycare, and she knows that. And she goes into a long discussion. By the way, this was covered. GMA picked it up. This went viral. And you find out other stuff. I couldn't air that clip because it came through GMA. I didn't want to risk copyright infringement and whatnot. But you find out that it's not their financial situation, she says. We'll get to that. They have student loans. They each have student loans, and she holds the health insurance for the family, and, they need a 2-income family. There's a whole story there. But I just want to focus on, first and foremost, look at her level of devastation. It is not natural for a mom to have 2 babies, to get even a 3-month maternity leave, which by any standards is good in this country, and then to go back to work and leave those kids for a full day and get to see them for a couple of hours at night. It's not natural. It doesn't feel good. Now, she says something that's interesting. She says she loves her career. And that's the thing. Women always feel the need to assert, but I love my career. We get it. We get it. But that doesn't mean you can still love your career. You can love what you've accomplished. You can be proud of what you've done. But maybe that's not, and just think about it, maybe that is not what's meant to be thriving in this moment. Maybe that was yesterday's moment, and maybe it'll be a moment in the future. But today's moment is about those 2 babies. And the reason I know it is because look how devastated you are at the idea of leaving them. That's all this is about. And don't be afraid to acknowledge and recognize that today being with these 2 kids is more important than that career that you worked so hard for. You don't always need to assert, but I'm proud of my career. We get it. We get it. But if this moment for you is more about your babies than that career, that's okay. That's really okay. She also says, mom guilt. She says, I have mom guilt. I don't think you have mom guilt, actually. Mom guilt is something different. Mom guilt is like, I really want to be doing this, but I'm guilty. I also need to be with my kid. No, I think you're just afraid to say what you really want, which is that you don't want to be at work. You don't. You want to be with your kids. And if the financial situation were different, or if, you weren't carrying the health insurance for the family, which is stuff we learn on the outside, you would be at home with your kids, right? So let's just say it. Let's have that conversation. Let's have that conversation about the student loans and all that, and we will. She says you can't do it all. You can't do it all. So you have to decide what is the most important thing for you to be doing. And you have to find a way. So if you say to yourself as a mom, the most important thing, and as a dad too, for your household, the most important thing is for mom to be home, then maybe you need to change where you live if it's too expensive. I'm being honest, because in New York City, what it costs to rent versus where I am in Texas, it's like triple. Maybe you live in the wrong place. Maybe you need to move closer to family so that there's community around you. There's a supportive network around you. Maybe look at your life. Maybe you can't do it the way that's ideal for the family where you are. But if you being at home with those kids is more important, maybe your husband needs to get a second job. Maybe something else needs to shift here. If that is a priority, then make it happen. Pick up your stuff and say, well, let me sell this house here and get a house in the country that's a quarter of the price and bigger. And then I can be home with my family. Think outside the box. People are so used to, well, I live in, New Jersey and it's this amount. No, they don't live in New Jersey. It also does speak to the breakdown of the family, right? It used to be that you had family around you. You had community. You had grandma. You had aunt. You had grandpa. So women could work part-time in a different way. Things were different. There was more fluidity. Now it's like, oh, it's just us. Breakdown of the family and community. So it's us or daycare, right? It's just the options have gone mad. I also just want to address what you learned in the other clip. Listen, they both have student loans. I'm ready for the heat on this one. Women, you shouldn't go for careers where you're going to have student loans. You shouldn't. Because you shouldn't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because if you accrue those student loans, you are going to find yourself in a financial position where you ultimately want children, and you're going to have to think about these finances in such a major way that it inhibits your ability to do what you really want, unless you marry super rich or your husband can carry the load, right? You're putting this like burden on your back from second one. Oh, I've got these student loans. So now what do? Now I have to work. I have to work. You're putting the burden of work on yourself from second one that you don't want, because you want to be able to take that break and have your babies and maybe take a couple of years off and have the comfort. And not everybody marries rich. It's just not a reality for everybody. And it's a lot to carry right off the bat. I would not advise women, oh, but Jed, you got a master's degree. I had a scholarship. I went for free. That's why I did it. And truthfully, you know why I went to people say, oh, you got a master's degree. I did. You know why? I didn't want to work. I didn't want to work. I was like, that's boring. I don't care. I'm just going to go to school and read. And I got it for free. Yay, I'm going to do that. It's fun. I'm going to be a girl. I'm going to curl my hair and go and read some books. Yay, that's what I did. So don't judge until you know the story. But women should not be in a position. She also shouldn't be in a position where she holds the health insurance for the family. I mean, I understand things happen, but this is not ideal. This is why people defend men as breadwinners. The female should not, I hesitate to say this, unless you absolutely don't want children. I hate to say that because you change your mind, right? For years, I said I didn't want children. Do you know why? Because I had people in my ear telling me, you're not going to be good at this. No, you're like really, into like self-care and health and all this stuff. And like, you're just not going to have time for that if you have a kid, and it's going to make you crazy. You're too anxiety ridden. I was told you're too anxiety ridden to have kids. You're not going to be good at it. So I was like, oh, and I bought it for a long time. I was like, I shouldn't have kids. When I was younger, I used to say, I'm not going to have kids. I'm too stressed out. I didn't want to pass that on along to a child. And I was like, oh my God, maybe people know something I don't. I bought it for years. I would say up until like early 30s, I'm not cut out for it. I have like this tendency toward anxiety. I'm not going to be good. I feel like I'm going to rattle a kid. I don't want to create that. Turns out my kid calmed me. Who knew? Right? Now I'm like, chill, nervous system regulation and, being a mom calmed me. So, you never know. You can change your mind. But the truth is that the reason that it works when men are breadwinners, because then you can take the break. You can take that break comfortably, and you know that the finances are upheld. You shouldn't be the breadwinner, ideally. Or if you do make more money than the guy let's say you're in some freakishly high paying career, like something happened to me, right? I was working at Fox News, making a good salary. And then all of a sudden I got promoted to The View. And in the span of a month or 3 weeks, my salary like quadrupled. That's like a weird career thing that happens, right? So all of a sudden I was like making more money. I was like, what the hell's going on? Right? But my husband also made good money. And I knew that if I decided to toss that all in the bag, and by the way, I got fired. Thanks, Hillary Clinton. Anyway, I got fired, and he carried the load. It was no problem because my salary had been great, but he made great money. So we were good. So, if you make more money, the guy needs to make the money, right? In the household in order for you to be able to take that break. If you're the breadwinner, you can't do it. So that's why those dynamics exist. No, Jed, that's, misogynistic. No, it's not misogynistic. It's realistic. because you want to be able to take the break, and now you're crying and having a nervous breakdown, and rightfully so, because you don't want to go back to work after your maternity leave, but you have to because the financial situation is such that you're carrying too much of the financial weight, and now it's your problem. Don't set it up that way. Do everything you can to not set it up that way. Everything. Even if it means living in a place where your costs are less. Everything you can to not set it up that way. If being a mom and a stay-at-home mom is a priority for you in your heart and soul, and even if you don't think it is today, it very well maybe tomorrow, then you got to protect that at all costs. It's heartbreaking to see her in this state.
My most irrational ick is men using umbrellas. Like, I can't get over it as a concept in general. Like, why are you as a man scared of rain? It's just water, H2O. It's the things that we drink. Like, it's water. It's not that deep. I understand girls because it's like, you don't want your hair to get wet. You don't want your makeup to run. You don't want your shirt to become see-through. You don't want to look like a wet rat. But like, for a guy, like, who are you trying to impress? Like, it's almost better if you're dripping wet. It's like kind of hot, like in the movie. Oh my God, I can't get over it. I've always had this fear. And then today, my fear came true because I'm with a guy. We're getting bagels. It's raining. Put two and two together. He's like, we need to go get an umbrella. And I'm like, play it cool, man. Like, it's not that deep. We get an umbrella. 10 seconds later, I'm not even kidding, his umbrella flips, and I'm oh my God, watching him try to fix the umbrella. Oh my God, I was literally just like, please throw it out, like dead ass throw out the umbrella. It's not gonna, like, it kind of broke, and it was like, no, it just has to go altogether. I'd rather be soaking wet than watch you try to flip an umbrella again and again. Like, it's not working. I just think that umbrella usage is feminine. Like, it's objectively feminine to be scared of water. Not scared of water, but like, okay, you don't need to protect yourself from the rain. Like, you're gonna be okay. You're not gonna die. It's not that deep. And yeah, like, I have to get fixed. Like, something up here is wrong because like, why did it make my stomach drop watching that? Like, I literally thought I was gonna throw up. But yeah, that's my truth. Mwah.
Okay, stop. She wrote him off because he used an umbrella in the rain. Okay, I mean, tell me again that girls aren't that picky. She wrote him off because he had the audacity in the pouring rain to use an umbrella. And she says, I'd rather, first of all, did he take the umbrella for you? He's going on a date with you. Maybe he took the umbrella because he figures, well, she's not going to want to get soaking wet, so let me take the umbrella. That's an option, right? It does happen. Secondly, why does he have to sit soaking wet? You're going out to dinner with this guy. I'd rather have him just sit like soaking wet. So you're under the umbrella. You got your own little umbrella. Hair's all makeup nice. Oh, it's like singing in the rain. Look how beautiful. Oh, it's like a romantic movie. You look to the left. He's saturated with water because he can't use his umbrella because you deem it feminine that he has an umbrella. You know what's feminine, honey? Not a guy using an umbrella, but a guy taking your crap and actually listening to this and being like, well, I guess I can't use an umbrella. Honey, you guys, please. If it's raining, use your umbrella. Okay? Women like this who are going to dismiss you because you use an umbrella aren't worth your time. I can promise you that. And you know what? If he didn't take an umbrella, let's say that he didn't have an umbrella and it started to rain really bad. She'd be like, he didn't even bring an umbrella and I was getting wet. And like it was in the forecast. I forgot. And he didn't have an umbrella to put over my head. He's not a gentleman. He didn't even have an umbrella for me. Ugh. But then if, God forbid, the guy takes an umbrella, he's feminized. Then you see she's mad that the umbrella, I guess, got caught in the wind and inverted, right? 2 lessons here. First of all, certain women you're just not going to please them because they just have so many options and they're like picky and they're like, no matter what you do, you're up shit's creek, right? That's number 1. Avoid these women at all costs. We discuss it. Beware. Avoid. Abort mission. Bye. We say it. That's number 1. And number 2 is she is kind of secret coding you and telling you that she wants a masculine man. What she's not telling you is that she really wants a masculine man who's not going to take her crap, right? So if she had the audacity to say to you, did you really need that umbrella? Well, yeah, babe, it's raining and I want to make sure you don't get wet. And frankly, I don't want to sit sopping wet through the dinner either. So yeah, here's my umbrella. Done. Put her in her place.
These are the requirements that you need to have in order to date me, a single mom of 3 kids. Number 1 is that you need to be making at least $130K a year. And you need to have at least 2 side hustles. If you cannot make $130K or more, then you are out of my fucking league. How do you expect to give me money for my kids if you only make $50K a year? Second is I don't date men that are younger than me because for obvious reasons. So if you are 26 and over, then you qualify. 26 to 35 is the age limit. Okay, I feel like 35 is pushing it because they look old as fuck already. So I'm 26, I'm a baby, so yeah. You have to have at least 3 cars under your name. Your second car has to have 8 seats because I have 3 kids. Oh, I want them to be comfortable whenever we go with you on a trip or something. You want me to come with you? I'm gonna bring my kids, and you need to have enough space for my kids. So that's why I require you to have an SUV and a vehicle of your own if you're gonna be dating me. Another requirement is that you have to have a property under your name, and you have to be looking into getting your second property. Have to get a home that has 6 rooms because each of my kids have to be in their own room. So you have to be considerate. Purchase a house that has 6 rooms because that's only common sense. Like, and if you cannot meet those requirements, then you're not the fucking one. The last requirement is that it has to be pink. If it's not pink, no. Pink and brown go together. Pink and brown, like what? Duvalin, you know?
Where do I start? So first of all, single mom, 3 kids, 26. Okay. I'm just toss that out there, right? So, you know, she's coming with some baggage, right? Let's just be honest. You're a single mom, had some type of situation go on, right? You got 3 kids. Who knows what it is? Maybe it was your fault the way it played out. Maybe it wasn't. But, you know, you are showing up with some baggage, right? So a guy's got to be willing to take that on, right? He's got to be willing to say, well, I'm essentially going to be raising someone else's children. And she's 26 and she's probably has some emotional damage from this experience because how could you not, right? Okay, so a guy, let's say, agrees and says, you know what? I like her. She seems nice. Although in the video, you know, regardless, let's say she is nice and says, you know what? I'm going to do it. Well, that's not enough. No. He has to make $130,000 a year. That's in most of the country, that's a lot of money. Maybe it's not a lot of money if you live in, you know, San Francisco or New York City, but that goes very far in a lot of the country. $130,000 a year, and he has to have 2 side hustles. So he has to be working hard. Is the bottom line. He has to be 26 to 35, a small window, because, you know, she says 36 looks old. Okay. He has to have 3 cars, and the second car has to be a SUV with 8 seats. Can you imagine? He has to have 1 property and another property on the way, 6 bedrooms. And then she talks about pink. I don't know what she's talking about. Okay. So this is audacity. This is basically, listen, I'm here. And I come with my own baggage. I'm a single mom. I'm 26. I have 3 kids, but I'm entitled to make all of these demands of you. And essentially, you need to be able to pay for me and for all of my children. You have to provide space for us all to sleep. You have to put a roof over our heads. You have to have the proper cars so that we can all fit everywhere. You have to pay for us. Honey, I would ask, what are you doing for him? What are you doing for him? Do you have the qualities that would attract this guy that you're describing? Or would this guy choose someone else? Would he choose somebody maybe that is 26 that doesn't have a history of 3 kids? It's a lot to take on someone else's 3 children, right? Would he choose that? I don't know. Maybe a good guy would meet you and say, you know what? I'm cool to take it on. You know what they're not going to be cool with? You putting all these demands in, though. What do you bring to the table? I'm assuming you're lovely to be around based on the video. Birds chirp. I'm assuming, right, that you're willing to, you know, cook beautiful meals, keep that home that he provides with all 6 bedrooms, like spick and span. I'm guessing that you're going to be incredibly grateful and loyal and pleasant to be around. I would love to know. I would like to see a list of things. Ladies, do me a favor. When you put these lists out of I require all of these things, right next to that list, do us all a favor and put a list out of what you provide. What do you bring to the table that warrants you making this long list? Salary, how many cars, how many this and that you want the guy to provide. I want to see the list of what you provide so we can see if it matches, right? Are you bringing to the table the same quantity and quality that you expect? Or are there games going on? I'll wait. The nerve. Can you imagine?
My mom didn't get pregnant for the first time until she was 37. That's when she had my sister. She was 39 when she had me, and she had my brother when she was 41. She had no issues getting pregnant, no issues with her pregnancies. So for any woman stressed about timeline, marriage, kids, like, it is okay to start later. You have time. Everyone is on their own timeline.
Okay. This is the politically correct message, and this is everywhere. I see this. There were like 6 videos that I could have played that said the same thing. Oh, yeah, my mom had her kids late, and it all worked out. 37, 39, 41. And I'm telling you this as somebody who got pregnant on the first try at 40, was very lucky. But this is horrible advice. This is horrible advice. Women, it's okay to wait. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Start late. Everyone's on their own path. This is not the advice. Now, is it possible that you land in this position, that you do everything you can to try to prioritize meeting someone and starting that family early, and that you land in a position where you are older and that's just how it worked out for you and that was God's plan for you. That is possible, but should that be the goal? No. Should that be the advice, like a do this? No, it should not. Why? Because this is very, very, very obvious. In general, again, female fertility is best in your 20s. It's going to be on a decline in your 30s and then in your 40s. It just is. Even if you have good fertility, right? Again, 40, I get pregnant, first try, great. Okay, that worked out for me. But still, was my fertility better in my 20s? Yes, it was, right? It was. Also, if you start in your 20s and you're younger, you have more time. So if you decide you want 3 kids, but you want to take a 3 or 4 year break in between, you have those options. If you decide you only want 1 kid, but then 3 or 4 years later, you change your mind, you've got time. You've got time to do those things, okay? It's not beneficial to tell women, wait. Also, your attractiveness, when is it at its peak? When is it let's just be honest. My guess would be your late 20s for many women. Maybe some women, your early 30s, maybe. I'd probably say no. I'd say most women, it's probably sometime in the 20s that it peaks. And then it's going to go down, right? Your options are going to go down because a lot of men who want many children, if a guy says, I want 6 kids, or I want 3 kids, or I want 4 kids, they're going to be looking and saying, well, if I marry someone who's, 42, can I do that? Probably not. If I marry someone who's 36, can I do that? Well, maybe, yeah. Is it harder, though, than someone who's 26? If that's your goal. Now, if you're a guy who says, well, maybe I'll have a kid, maybe I won't, that's a different thing, right? Your priorities are different. But I'm talking about men who want families, right? Even if you want 1 child, is it a guarantee that you'll have one just because you pick a younger woman? No. There are women that have fertility issues younger, but is it more likely that it's going to be a problem if she's older? Yeah, it just is, right? It just is. It's just biology. Doesn't mean if you marry someone older, it's guaranteed to be a problem. But let's just look at if you're weighing like, what are my odds here? That's how you're going to weigh them, right? Would you want to go out? Just women, be honest. Would you want to go out into the dating marketplace, be single and be competing? If you're 42, would you want to compete with your 29-year-old self? Would you? Now, I know there'll be someone out there say, I look way better now than I did at 29 because you feel the need to defend where you are now. I get it. It's like a defensive thing that happens. But really think about it. Would you? Would you want to compete with your 29-year-old body and face and fertility? Would you? Most would probably say no. If you put them on a lie detector test, they're going to say, well, no, I wouldn't. Not to say you can't be successful and find a relationship. You may. You may get lucky. I got really lucky, right? I got really lucky considering that I goofed a lot. I did. I lived in the wrong place. I didn't just pick up and move my butt out of New York City where there were a bunch of feminist men. I, bought the line that, oh, Dad, you're so anxious. You're not going to be good with kids. You shouldn't have kids. And I swallowed it for years. I got into a career that kind of just like was tumbling into where it was leading me, even though I wasn't happy or fulfilled doing it because it was boatloads of stress. But I'm not sitting here. I don't look back at my life and feel the need to, I need to justify what I did. So I'm going to tell women to do the same thing. No, it worked out for me. God's plan worked out for me. I have a beautiful child. I have an incredible husband, and that's awesome. And I'm extremely grateful for that every day. But would I tell women to do what I did? I wouldn't. Because you're running a risk. You're running a risk that it's not going to work out for you if you delay all of these things. You just are, right? And maybe it wouldn't have worked out this way. And I have to look back and be grateful for my lessons because it led me here. But I want to give advice that for the vast majority of people is going to help you. And waiting and saying, I could sit here and say, I had a baby at 40, you'll be fine. Am I doing you a favor by saying that? Or am I ignoring the reality that a lot of women who try to have a baby at 40, it just doesn't go so well. And it would have gone a lot better if they had tried at 28, just biology, right? And maybe it would have gone a lot better if they had avoided all that stress of the career climb. I was lucky in a sense because I taught for years. That wasn't stressful. TV for me started late. It started in my 30s. And even so, I had a very lax attitude about it, to be honest with you. I got lucky. I was not ambitious. I was not. When I met my husband, people say, well, you met your husband and he was with you. This is a great point to make. You met your husband and he was with you and you were on TV and he's a masculine guy. When I met my husband, do you know I was working at Fox News and I was doing at some point I started doing some guest stuff on The View. I used to go into work one day a week when I met my husband. I used to do a show. I loved to do. It was called Red Eye. It was at night. It used to film from, I think it was like 8:30 to 9:30. It was fun. It was like comedians. I used to go in one day a week on Tuesdays and do that. And I would book a show right before that because I was already done and it was 10 minutes before. And I knew they wouldn't fire me because I was like on air for 2 shows a week. I was like, I can get away with this. And the rest of the week was mine. That's what I was doing when I met him. I backscaled it because I met him and I was like, oh, I don't want to do all this work stuff. I want to do my walks and curl my hair, you know? So people always think, oh, and I took the View stuff. I had a long conversation about that. I was like, I don't want to be on TV every day. He was like, you got just try it. Try it. He was like, try it. It's fun. It was easy. The View was so easy. It's a joke, by the way. They sit in the back room with you and they like write. They're like, oh, you got to have somebody there to talk through talking points. I used to be like, dude, can you leave? I know how to do this. No, let's make sure. Because I got to make sure like you're not going to say something off the wall and spook out a politician. It's the easiest thing on the planet. But even that, I was like, when I got fired, I was like, I'm just not that upset. Went to the gym after that, had more time to cook. And I was in please, you don't know a lot about my life. But bottom line is don't give women advice to delay. Just don't. It's just not good advice. And a lot of them are going to wind up unable to have kids, unable to find a husband, miserable, unhappy, and wishing they hadn't taken the Chelsea Handler advice is all I'm going to say. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It has been a blast. I will see you back here soon. Miss you. Love you. Mourn the death of poor Gatito. Sorry, I melted him, but I didn't know he wasn't supposed to get that hot. Don't be a hater. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Come back soon.